This is my second flight at Portsea on the 14th of December 2019. The winds were, I think, about 14 knots straight on, so straight on to launch. When I first arrived, there were quite a few paragliders, but none of them wanted to take off because I guess there was a little bit too much wind for them. So that gave me a little bit of space in the air all by myself. And then I guess the wind must have come down just enough for them to start launching. And even then, they stayed out of the way. I stayed out of their way. They stayed quite close to the dunes. They like doing that for some reason. Whereas I like staying nice and high and having a look at the water, having a look at the people, waving at the people at the lookout. Yeah, so I had plenty of fun. So let's talk about my landing. My landing was a little funky. I had a lot of speed, which is great, and I came down into ground effect exactly the way I wanted to, with my wings pointed straight along the beach. Oh yeah, so I should say that the wind's been straight on shore. So because I had quite a bit of speed, I was pointed straight along the beach. And at some point, I needed to convert my direction to point into the wind. And at some point, just before landing, I guess. And I think I should have converted it very slowly, so converted it into a crosswind landing. But you know what? I've realized I don't actually know how to do that. Because how do you transition from a high speed along the beach run to slowing down and turning into the wind at the same time? Um, anyway, I hadn't thought too deeply about this before. And so when I got close to where I wanted to land, I was still going quite fast along ground effect. And so I decided to turn into the wind, and I did that. And I guess I'd forgotten that the wind was a bit less close to the ground than it was up at 300 feet where I spent most of my time. And so I started approaching the water quite rapidly. And when I got right at the water's edge, I decided that I didn't want to land in the water. So it was time to flare, and so I gave it a big flare. And unfortunately, my wings weren't level when I flared, so my left wing dropped, and so I came down kind of on the left side that you can see here. And so it wasn't a very graceful landing, but I didn't get hurt. It was quite a gentle landing, actually. It was like I just went and sat on the beach. I guess the softness of the sand helped there a lot. But really, what's on my mind right now is how can I do this better? And I think I need to speak to a few people from the club and other people who fly Portsea more often, and maybe other people who fly other beach sites more often, and try and understand how to land here. Because I love this site and I want to land here many, many times and have safe landings.
Well, that was an interesting landing.